It's looking good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you recording again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so where did I leave off? Oh, yeah. So the old timer veterans, they still have that knowledge of how to do riveting and lead fill, and they kind of still have that 50s, 60s styling that they grew up with that a lot of people just don't understand. And it's an art form. And I'd like to, build these hot rods and then sell them to create enough revenue. Maybe even do like a auction, or not an auction. What do they call those? Like a raffle, so that even the veterans that helped have the opportunity that they can give this vehicle to, family, friends, whatever. But use the money that it generates to build tiny home community. And there's a couple spots that I've found that are in Grand Junction that I think would be awesome to put a tiny home community. Something that's a little bit off grid and on grid. Like definitely solar powered, and but to have all the amenities so we can get our veterans off the freaking streets.
Right.
They serve this fucking country. They deserve a place to live, a place that they can call home, a place that they can have other veterans that are in their same position.
What would you say to the argument that people have about, oh, they only served 4 years of their life and over half of them haven't even seen war?
Take 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Take 4 years of actually being out there, being under that type of stress, where tomorrow may never come for you, where tomorrow might, you might be not even exist.
Yeah.
That your kids that you left behind are going to grow up without a father. They are lucky that they survived, no matter what job. Even the guy that sits in the United States working a drone that's over in Afghanistan, they still have that stress. They still have the stress of taking someone's life. Yeah. Even if it's detached so far that they're in a building and not actually, close contact with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever.
Mm-hmm. What would you say, though, when people say, what do you say, though, to people who are like, oh, why would we give and help these people out, get them off the street when they've chosen to be on the street, and they're not that important, right, because they, you know what I mean? There's that argument of that. What would you say to that?
I would say you serve this country has an obligation to take care of you.
Yeah. Now, even if it was pushing paperwork.
Even if it was pushing paperwork.
Yeah.
And right now, our U.S. military is ill-equipped to deal with PTSD and all of the things that stem from it.
Mm-hmm.
All of it.
It is, very much so.
I mean, homelessness is a chunk. It's a big chunk.
It's a big chunk, but it is a chunk.
Just a chunk
of the rest of the mess that was created.
Right, what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few veterans that, are living out on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the reason why they're living on the street
mm-hmm.
is because some of them have severe flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them scream in their sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And to be living in a condo in town that they could afford,
mm-hmm.
they feel that they're a disruption.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to cause anybody else the same stress that they're dealing with. They don't want nobody else to have to deal with that stress.
Right.
So they
doesn't belong to that other person, right?
Right.
It doesn't belong to them, so I'm not going to give it to you.
So I'm gonna, they separate themselves from the rest of society.
Again, adding to selflessness.
Yeah.
Because they even added to selflessness when they joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they separate themselves from society so that they don't cause any harm to the society as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, that's remarkable. But if you can get a bunch of veterans that understand what each person is going through,
yeah,
you can build a community, you can build a camaraderie, you can build all of that.
You can build hope.
And by building all of that, you build in hope, you build in the opportunity that they could be immense contributors to this society. And have a place for them to be safe. Now, the idea behind it is, yes, it'd be free for them to live there, but it's just a step where if they find something outside of that community, that they'll be able to reintegrate back into society on their terms, not on society's terms.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's so cold that people can be like, oh, just, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and life doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
It never has, and it never will. I mean, yes, for some people have great will, and they can pull up their bootstraps and succeed.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Not everybody has the tools. There's tools that you need to have.
Not everybody has those tools.
Yeah.
And our society is so geared up. Like right now, the way I look right now, I look like I could be out in the mountains.
Yeah.
Like a mountain man.
Yeah.
All right. So when I show up for a job interview, they don't think it's sexy.
No, they don't. I do, but I'm a weirdo. So I guess.
They want me to fit into this box.
Yeah.
And
you're not. No, nobody.
And I don't.
Nobody.
And nobody fits in that box.
Nobody does.
Now I could clean shave. I could buzz the sides. I probably wouldn't recognize myself, but I could play the part, and I could get hired. And a couple of jobs I've had to do that. Now, when it comes to a veteran, if you don't have a place to call home, where are you getting your showers from? Where are you shaving your face? How are you able to even do any of that stuff? You might have the equipment, but you don't have a place to do it. Is it safe? How old are those razors? If you don't have any money, or you have an addiction that takes your money so that you can function, even though you're kind of outside of society, to do those drugs is to make you function, to deal with
society.
I mean, it is an entangled web.
Yep.
That, right now, you could probably find a bum on the street, clean them up, and they could get a job. It might not. It might be McDonald's. It might be Taco Bell. But even when they do make money, let's say a Taco Bell person makes $600 every 2 weeks. All right, the cheapest place in town is what, $800 a month?
Here?
Yeah, here $750.
$750, $800 is cheap for a studio.
For a studio apartment.
Yeah, which is just a shower and a little kitchenette and one room to sleep in, eat in. And then
fees and stuff on top of that. Even though you're working your ass off, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
I know there's people out there who'd be like, oh, well, just work 80 hours a week instead of 40.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
make that money, but then you're on a curve to do the crash when you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if you're already addicted to an upper, your addiction's going to get worse, and you have the possibility of killing yourself.
Yeah. It's insane.
It is. It's insane.
And
So get back on topic. Sorry, my rants I go out to left field sometimes. To get back on topic, I'd like to see a society that helps.
Yeah.
And, you know, with this COVID thing, it's interesting to watch the separation between people.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen people that are not wearing masks going through a grocery store, and people around them partying like Moses in the
Red Sea
because they're scared of that person.
Because of what they might have COVID.
They might have COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing people detached like that, so freaking hurtful.
Yeah.
You know, and just to see it every day. And now it's becoming more and more socially acceptable to have that distancing.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And why social media is becoming more and more important right now.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some social media is very unhealthy for you.
Yeah.
Okay, back onto
art.
Back onto the topic, which is veterans. To have a community where they have all that camaraderie and that healing that can and would take place. I mean, there's always going to be bumps along the road and tragedy, and because it's people. But to build that camaraderie and to have that association with society, to reintegrate back into society, and making a bigger society where it's not us versus them, where it becomes all of us.
Mm-hmm.
That there is no them.
Mm-hmm.
Them is a figment of your imagination.
Yeah.
That we will all prosper because of it, and everybody will have a contribution to that society.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the great societies, you know, 20s, 30s, 40s. And what made them great is because everybody was contributing to that society. Ideas were exploding. College tuition was low enough that a person with one job could pay it off reasonably quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, our society is just not like that.
Nope.
In my opinion, education should be free. 100%. If you want to learn to be a doctor, learn to be a doctor. You want to be the next scientist that finds a cure for something? Don't be hindered because
of money.
The money that it's going to cost for you to get that education, for you to do what you want to do.
Yeah. What you could do
and
that would help on this planet.
Right.
Your brothers and sisters.
It's ridiculous, right?
It is.
Revolutionary thoughts.
From Ben Wolf.
Right.
The artist.
Right, I'm not doing much art right now. I am doing like little details, but I do go on a rant and rave and whatever. So it's still worth a little bit.
Okay. We are now on to a little bit more.
A little bit more. A little bit more ranting and raving?
A little bit more of everything.
Well, okay, no.
Everything.
Maybe I should get back to the art. All right, so... So this here is the sun, and I'm adding these lines because line work is important. But it also, what this does, is the lines are random. I'm not really going with a super, every line has to be so far apart from the other one. Some people do that. I am not. I won't. But by letting them be random, or somewhat random, it creates this depth. So the rays of the sun are actually like waves, sun waves. And when you look at it, you can see them. They're moving. And moving art is awesome. And what's awesome about this,
so
when
what?
I'm done with it, I can make copies of it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Why do you always lean towards skeletons? What's
All right, so I love skeletons, and I get some backlash from it. Not so much anymore. I mean, skeletons are in, I guess. Anyways.
But you were into them before everybody else was.
Right? For the last 20 years. I mean, I've always kind of had the skeleton motif. This is my little bones guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was an art project. We already went over that once.
Mm-hmm.
But I like skeletons because everything on the outside of a skeleton you can have issues with, like inherent racism, skin color, eye color, hair color, tall, short, all of those isms.
Fatism, skinnyism,
right?
Organs,
all those isms,
organisms.
But the one thing that we all have in common, some of us females have, I think, more ribs.
We have one more rib than a man.
Which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It actually really is. But all skeletons are the same color, made from the same material. It's all white.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
well,
no
I mean,
difference.
when you flay the skin off and you're starting,
right?
I mean, it's a little red.
A little red.
But then once you clean the red off,
Right.
I guess you got a little opaque color, and then it bleaches out. If you leave it in the sun long enough, you leave a bone out in the sun, bleaches out. But don't go off skinning people. Just don't do that. Don't. Right.
That sounds a little weird.
That sounds a little morbid. I'm going. You got to understand, though. I work in the medical field, so.
You kind of have to be
morbid. Being a little bit morbid is actually kind of appropriate to be in the medical field. You got to have a little bit of a sense of humor about things, or otherwise it'll destroy you, and then you're not going to want to help people because
you get burnt out.
You get burnt out, and it's not even a burnt out. You get cynical, I think. It's
cynical
old grouchy.
All right. Well, I'm almost done with this sun, putting all the texture into him.
You're doing a good job. You always do.
It's getting there.
You always do.
Some of these lines I made earlier kind of messing with my brain. That's okay. That's what art is for. All right.
So can you tell me what color your skull guy is?
My skull guy?
Mr. Bones?
He is...
What are the colors that you see? That
I see?
Yeah.
Well, I know that this part's down here, although I don't see it. I know that it's a blue, and I really see the purple. But the blues, I don't see. I see more as like a gray.
Right. Because
I am, what's the word? Triton optic.
Uh-huh.
Is that right?
Which means?
Which means I see reds and all the warm tones of colors really freaking well.
Right.
But when I have blues and greens, yeah, not so much.
Because Triton Optic is considered colorblind.
But I'm colorblind. And even though they say it's not possible, I'm also dyslexic. So I have bad issues with spelling. But I can't blame everything on that. I want to. No, for the longest time, especially when I was younger, I was having a hard time reading because my letters like to flip around.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the same issues with numbers as well, which is weird. But it's numbers that are familiar, like 6 and 9s, which I'm glad I'm getting new glasses, so I think that might help a ton.
Yeah.
6s and 9s, 2s and 7s, 3s and 8s.
Yeah.
Those numbers just mess with me. They dance. Everything kind of dances across the computer screen, usually. But I've learned that if I take yellow film and put it on the computer, I can actually see it better. And if I make them bigger, like, what do they call it? Focusing?
Mm-hmm. Enlarging,
that's the word. When I do that, I can actually see stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that these new glasses, the last pair that I got made me like I was drinking all day. Mm-hmm. One eye was perfect, the other eye is just like, nope. Mm-hmm. Okay, sun is done. So maybe I'll play with the moon now. So I like the the moon's plated. So I'll do that. And these look more like, what do they call those? Like a ticket stub. Then, at this point, anyways.
Or a puzzle piece. With the,
right.
Flat edges.
Right, I can't do all the other pieces of the puzzle piece. Because it doesn't make sense in my brain yet. But I've done these moons a lot, so I kind of know what I like. I've done them with stars, and I've made them so these panels that you're seeing me put on are like see-through, and you can see like clockworks and stuff on the inside.
Right.
That's another word. Cladding. That's the other word. So that's kind of how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to put a dot there, a dot there, a dot over here. I'm going to have to change pins up so I can go smaller. Dot right there, dot right there. Ooh, good catch.
And I did all of that while holding a camera.
Oh, right? You didn't throw the camera at me or nothing.
I know. I'm pretty amazing.
Now, when I'm doing this cladding or whatever you want to call it, I could force them out in space just by doing this.
And what is this?
This is adding a shadow side.
A simple line is a shadow side.
But it creates where I can make, instead of this being flat, the moon flat, which moons aren't flat.
No.
Sorry. Flat mooners.
I'm not going there.
Right? Hey, the flat earthers were hilarious.
No, we're not going there.
I do like the idea of flat earth, having a giant dome that we're living on. Or a plate.
No, we're not going into that debate.
Right.
That's not.
We really didn't go to the moon. The moon's flat too.
Goodness.
It's a bunch of plates in space that are just floating around each other. That makes total sense.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like I'm on the bottom of the plate.
Can I be on top?
I thought we were trying to keep this PG. I guess not. Sorry and stuff.
I was PG. I just wanted to be on top of the plate. While you're under it.
That's terrible. Anyways, this clouding is fun. I've done a couple of these. I think my friend Angela has, both Angelas has a picture, a moon picture.
Yeah. Oh, now. Yeah. Hi, Angela, if you ever get to see this. Both of you.
Right?
Well, I know lots of Angelas too.
What's funny about that is both Angelas
Uh-huh.
kind of have the same personality. It's crazy.
Angelas. Angie's are different, though. Angie's are loving. I mean, Angelas are loving, too. I'm just saying that there's two different...
backpedaled.
I did. I did.
All right. So, one of my friends, Angela, is the whitest black girl you'll ever meet.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All day.
And then the other Angela is a white girl.
The blackest white girl you'll ever meet.
Right.
So,
but their personalities, that I probably wouldn't get them in a room together because
they'd be scrapping.
They'd be scrapping or something.
They're like...
But, which is interesting when they call that namology.
Namology.
Right? Because I know lots of Benjamins that are just like me, that are Pisces even.
I've met a few Benjamins, but I've met a few Benny. You're a Benny. You're definitely, your name is Benjamin, but you are definitely a Benny. Benny!
It is all about the Benjamins.
Okay. Yes.
That's a shout out to Puffy or
it's
whatever he is.
Puff Daddy. No, it's P Diddle.
It's P Diddle?
I mean, not Pete. Oh, God.
Sorry, dude.
P Diddy.
Is it P Diddy?
Yeah, P Diddy.
Because I heard that he went through a couple different name changes, kind of like Prince, but he hasn't changed himself to a symbol yet.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet. Which is alright, I guess.
I want to be a symbol.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you got Elon Musk's son. That's
name is
XAQ something.
He's a mathematical equation.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe it is. Mathematical. His son's name is a mathematical equation.
Okay, so I did a little bit of stuff on the moon. Sounds terrible.
I did some stuff on the moon once.
Right.
I did a little bit of moon dust once.
Moon dust?
Yeah.
That stuff's terrible.
I don't really know what it is.
I've done moon cakes and star cakes, and I'll tell you, those are a trip.
And those of you who have done moon cakes and star cakes, you'll probably know what he's talking about. I have not ever done moon cakes or star cakes. I don't know what kind of I guess they're trippy. So.
Bam. Almost done with the moon now. Now, if I wanted to, I could just say screw it and darken this whole side. Just darken the crap out.
Don't do it.
I don't want to because I want whoever
wants to color it.
Color it.
Well, how about we do that? Like a raffle. Like a
raffle.
Yeah, those of you who watch this.
I don't have that type of account to do a raffle.
Yet.
Yeah.
What?
My homies and people that are out there, you can always help me.
That would be great.
That would be awesome. And fellow artists that are out there, we can also do stuff like this. And
he would love nothing more than...
I do like people. Not all people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like people. And I like doing art.
Yeah. Doing collaborations are awesome.
Collaborations are awesome.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm done with the moon. How about some clouds?
I love clouds.
Clouds are
But if you're going to do a cloud, how are you going to put the fairy in? Oh, you should just, like, I don't know, put eyeballs in the clouds. That'd be kind of cool.
Eyeballs in the clouds?
I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm into eyeballs. I like eyes. I'm an eyeball person. Just kidding.
You're an eyeball person?
I am.
Okay, so these are how my clouds start out. They're always just, I pick a corner and start going at it.
They look like they're rainbows.
But they're not.
But they're not. They're clouds. And you'll see them really come out as a cloud soon.
Yep.
Yep.
So,
and what's cool about these clouds and how he does it is that you can do multicolored clouds. You can shade them into whatever you want, whatever colors. I know we only have gray, fluffy, white, puffy things, but you know, when the sun sets and when the sun comes up, there's always purples, blues, pinks,
grays,
sometimes even green.
Yeah. Depending on what we're polluting into that.
You're right.
Like when all those California fires were happening.
Oh my gosh.
Here in Colorado, we were having such awesome.
We had a fire too at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Not even. It was the second largest in Colorado itself. Here on the western slope where we are at.
Right. I got to see that.
And those sunsets. Oh, the sunsets were so beautiful. Yeah. Breathing was hard. Because it was. They were even talking about evacuating because of it, the elderly here, and that was during the corona thing.
Which
so
was ridiculous.
Came out pretty much like a giant fiasco.
Right.
Yeah.
Giant fiasco.
It was a fiasco. Fiasco.
Yeah. So the more of this pattern that I keep up. When they do this on cars, what's it called? Clamshell. You do a almost perfect U.
Mm-hmm.
It has a really cool effect on especially old cars.
Can we just...
Hint.
Can we do this to my truck?
Right.
We could take permanent marker. It'll come off eventually.
No, you just get paint pens that are permanent marker.
Can we do that to my truck? That would be kind of fun.
That would be fun. But if we're going to do it to your truck, do it right and go get multicolors of paint pens.
It's not... Oh, yeah, we can do that. Let's do it right. But...
You know, because if I ever get famous or enough viewers or subscribers or however that algorithm works...
Subscribe, like, and share. Leave a comment. That's how that works.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Subscribe, like, and share.
But if I'm ever able to, then, you know, maybe we'll buy you a Lamborghini. Yeah. Just think how fast you could get to work. Be like there in less than 30 seconds.
I'm already there in less than 5 minutes. I live right across the street from work.
That's my point.
That wouldn't even be worth my time to drive it, though. I wouldn't even get any enjoyment. A Lamborghini is meant to drive fast, so cops can pull you over.
Right, but if I'm rich, then they pull me over. I give them a bunch of money.
Wait, no, that's illegal.
Well, you know, Or I can just make
What you could do,
be a contributor to the judicial system.
You know, what would
that
be
makes,
really,
you know, millions and millions and billions of dollars every year.
babe.
Okay, that's a rant.
That's a rant.
Time, I guess.
Yeah.